I have been watching a lot of Annie Austin's videos recently. He makes weird videos about details in video games that most people never notice, such as whether power lines in GTA 5 are connected to any power source. He also had a video about racing games where he made an interesting point that even more details in those games go unnoticed because you're always rushing by everything at 250 kilometers per hour. For example, in Need for Speed Most Wanted, I have made this trip between the first safe house and the shop probably about 50 times, but I never knew there was Pedro's pawn shop right here in the middle. If I had known this, maybe I could have sold Ronnie's Aston Martin here instead. Need for Speed Most Wanted is my favorite racing game of all time. I played this a ton during the past months, but now when I slowed down, I started noticing a lot of things for the first time. For example, everybody knows the bus station. It's a great shortcut and a great way to cheese the police chase time milestones by sitting up here. But then I came back and noticed this departure table, which shows destinations, and what do we have here? Berlin, Paris, Barcelona. Rockport City is in USA. How the hell is the bus gonna get there? How is it gonna get over the ocean? Maybe there is no ocean in Most Wanted universe. Maybe there is no water. Well, according to the Most Wanted map, all this blue area is allegedly water. But let's check it out. We have 7 different bridges here, and we have quite a bit of coastal area right here where something might be happening. The thing is that the first 4 bridges, they don't really feel like bridges when you're driving over them. Like here, you can see in the map that I'm driving over the first bridge, but on both sides there's trees and buildings, and it doesn't really seem like there could be a river here. It's the same thing for the second bridge and the third bridge, but if you stop your car at a particular point on the third bridge, you can see water quite far down below, so it feels like it's not really a bridge, it's more like there is an underground stream that exits into the open here after the third bridge. And then if you stop your car here after the fourth bridge, you can see what looks like the outlet of storm drains. So the excess water after storms would flow out here and into the creek below. It's a quite nice detail, and in this way we have established that the water of the river flows in this direction. The fifth bridge is like an underground bridge. There's nothing really interesting about it. So in reality, there's only 2 bridges in this game that feel like bridges. And the first of those is my favorite place in the entire game. Mainly because it's a small island by itself and it has this area. There is never any reason for you to come here, except for the one hiding spot that is here. But otherwise it's a detour that doesn't lead anywhere. But I like that. It's a very peaceful place. You got Seaside Books and Gift Shop, you got Parker's Fresh Fish and Lobsters, best goddamn fish place in town. There's this miniature house on the docks. It's so small I think literally a lobster could live here. There is a lighthouse here, and its placement actually makes perfect sense because it's facing the open water, and it's on a small island that could pose danger to ships if they don't know that it's here. If I had to pick one place in the city, I think I would live here. It's perfect. While there is apocalyptic terror being wreaked on the city by the blacklist drivers, you can just chill here, catch fish for food, hang out with the lobsters. What more could you ask for? The seventh bridge is also pretty cool. You can see an island of coast which is not on the map. I think it's probably just too far. There are also other details which imply that Rockport is a fishing town and a shipping town. Here is a sign for a fish festival happening on August 23 to 26th. The game probably takes place some months after that, since many trees are yellow already. In the docks we have a sign for North Bay Canning Corporation, and in coastal areas over the water you can often see seagulls, and there is at least one place where you can see a ship moving. It's throwing a little loop over the bay to get out of it. It's a pretty nice detail. The other place is Masterson Shipyard. I think everyone knows it. You have the memorable place here where you drive through a half-constructed ship's ribs. There's a lot of cranes, a lot of shipping containers, The usual things you'd expect in docs. I assume I'm not a sailor. Now let's talk about Burger King. There's goddamn 50 places in this game with Burger King restaurants or Burger King ads. I don't know how much money they paid EA, but it had to be a lot. There's even a Burger King blimp flying around in case you didn't get enough of it. The only other cafe I saw nearly as much was this Brazilian cafe, by which we can basically conclude that there's a secret turf war happening between the Brazilians and Burger King. I'm on the Brazilian side. In case you didn't know, if you write Burger King in the game title screen, you unlock a secret Burger King challenge which starts at the Burger King restaurant, and after you beat it you can put all the Junkman parts on your cars. Okay, I'm done with saying Burger King for this video, but the other corporation which has something similar is Castrol. Castrol Quick Lube. I'm not even gonna make no jokes about that, but if you write Castrol in the title screen, you unlock this Ford GT with Castrol bodywork. It's pretty cool. There are some references to Most Wanted. You can find this NFSMW graffiti in a few places. There is a NFS Most Wanted sign with a few letters missing that you can find in at least 5 different places, but I never noticed it before because it doesn't stand out very much. I found a Black Box logo on one of the walls, EA Black Box of course being the studio that developed Most Wanted and other Need for Speed games from this era. In downtown you can find an ad for The Very Late Show with Luke Wasserman, and Luke Wasserman is one of the producers of Most Wanted. In one spot there is this odd, very faded poster which says "Wow Toot." No doubt some sort of subliminal fart messaging to corrupt our children. Great job on that. There's this funny poster, don't even try to resist, and for her, I wouldn't. In the construction site there is a sign that says forklifts in use, but then there's actually no forklifts to be found on the site, from which we can conclude that somebody stole all the forklifts. At the bus stops you can see a sign that shows which buses stop here, but every stop shows the same 3 buses, which means that in Rockport you have only 3 buses that have routes which span like 50 stops through the entire goddamn city, so good luck if you need to get from one end to the other. There is this random rocket lady I never noticed, she just looks so cool. You can find this old building in Highland Trails. It kind of looks like stables, maybe used back in the olden days. Need for Speed Horse Wanted. On the Rosewood College campus, if you check the minimap, there's 2 narrow paths that fork off, and I had never gone through either of them because there are no races that take you through there, and during police pursuits I felt like I would be cornered if I went on the campus, but those paths might actually be a pretty good way to ditch the cops. At the campus entrance you can see a horseman, probably kept his horse in those stables we talked about earlier. Need for Horse Stables Wanted. There is a church which has a sign by the entrance that says there's gonna be bingo happening tonight in the East Hall. So guys, if this video gets 50,000 likes, I'm creating a mod that adds a bingo minigame here. On the highway you got this weird abandoned building which looks like it will collapse any second, and a little bit further on you can find cows. I really like cows. These ones are not very animated though. But then right next to the cows you got a goddamn Burger King logo, really? The Brazilians would never do this. There is a beach here, founded in 1928. It looks a little miserable for some reason, and I think the people here agree, because you can see smoke coming from every single chimney on these camping houses, meaning they're all occupied, but there's nobody outside. If you recall the Annie Austin video I mentioned about power lines in GTA 5, we also got power lines in Most Wanted. We got transmission towers, but they don't connect to anything of course. We also have regular power lines, and the interesting thing is that they are organized illogically from a practical perspective. You have this zigzag pattern from pole to pole, which is an inefficient use of wire, but it makes perfect sense from a gameplay perspective, because every time you drive through here you get a great sense of speed from having a bunch of lines zooming past over your head, and in this way Most Wanted emphasizes user's experience oversensible city design, which I think was a good move. In Rosewood College Hospital, a nice detail is that if you drop down here, there's a helipad for medical helicopters to land on. There is a cinema here you can find with posters of the newest movies. You get Konogo Arsenic, is that a skating robot on the moon? And then of course Octodad, an absolute classic. And my favorite of all, Doris, a romantic comedy. I wonder if the donkey will be one of the romantic leads. And the final thing I wanted to show you is this graveyard. I forgot I have it in the thumbnail, so I do need to show it. Given that I'm here after completing career, we can assume about half the places here are taken by city's police force. That's all the details I got. There's definitely more, so if you like Most Wanted, I can definitely recommend taking the time to just drive around the city and see what you can find. I think it can definitely make you appreciate the game even more.